goes through the prince. He's like, "Hi, I'm just gonna let you know that I am not gonna tolerate you guys being mean to anybody." It's like, dude, this isn't how Rambo works. Rambo goes and fucks shit up. But the Lindsey Graham version, he's just gonna sit there and like be non-threatening and just like talk about how he's gonna do all this but not follow up on it at all. So he's holding the gun, he's sitting there just like, "All right, all you Saudi guys, you princes better be stopping because I'm gonna hold this gun, but I can't because it's kind of heavy. Is there any way I can just set it down for a second, just like get a little water break or..." Oh man, it's so tough. It's so hot here. How do you guys live here? It's just, I mean, I know South Carolina is hot, but it's not this hot. It's just so hot here. So there's that. But then there's also like the pseudo life. So I think, so Matt Foley, for instance, the old Chris Farley character, like went to we're fighting the cartels. "Yeah, right, how's everybody? Now, as your father's probably told you, my name is Matt Foley and I am a motivational speaker. I'm gonna give you a little bit of scenario of what my life is all about." And all the Mexicans sitting there like, "What's going on? First off, I am 35 years old, I am divorced, and I live in a van down by the river." And one of them speaks up like, "Yeah, we live in a van by the river too." And he's like, "Wait. No. Now, Dad, I can't see real good. Is that Bill Shakespeare over there?" Like, "No, that's just..." And so he's sitting there like kind of contemplating, like, because his whole speech is built around van down by the river, and all these guys are like, "No, we live in a van down by the river." He has like nothing, so he eventually just leaves. So that was my whole thought today of like, if there are other people who like were involved in like a pseudo like Rambo sort of, yeah. So that's all I got.
Give it over JT. He works for Tip, so be sure to tip him well. He's talking about makeup under your eyes. I seen a girl in a thong bikini today, and she bent over in front of me, and I was like, "I can see your eyeshadow." You know, around the brown eye, you know, it's just a little bit different color, you know, eyeshadow. I don't know where I was going, but. Y'all ready for your next comic of the night? Put your hands together and welcome Chris.
Fuck, it's Chris. You say you're from Carbondale, first of all?
Yeah.
Awesome, we're like neighbors. I'm from Glenwood, so.
Wait, no way.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Well, I mean, I live here now, but I figured, I might as well like please like an eighth of the crowd real quick, get them on my side before I try to tell my jokes. All right. You guys know what I realized the other day what the problem with the KKK is, and it's the racism. I think that's I figured that out. Because it wasn't for all that stuff, it honestly looks like the fucking coolest like organization. You're gonna like dress like it's Halloween all the time, you're gonna burn shit, but they just had to fucking ruin it by being racist and uncool. And it's like, get with the fucking times, it's 2019, like, get with it. Because it's not only that, like, you're gonna be like a fucking wizard, it's like a fucking imaginary thing, everybody's like a wizard or like oh sorry, I'll stop fucking with it, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, I'm super nervous. I'm actually super nervous. I've taken like, literally in the last like 20 minutes with all these comedians, I've taken like 10 nervous pisses waiting for my time to go up. Like where piss isn't even like coming out, it's just like driplets. I'm just like, oh fuck, nervous piss coming out right now. So yeah, the last thing I was saying though, skip it. I gotta go to my notes. I'm always so ill prepared for this. I was like, like most, I don't know, like most straight people, I've had the question, people always ask me, it's like, bro, would you let another dude suck your dick for money? Which is weird, because it's always by guys who, like, can't get women, they're always like, bro, what'd you do? And I'm like, dude, you can't even get a girl to suck your dick. But somehow all the gay dudes is gonna line up and just start sucking your dick off all the damn time. And it's like, of course, first off, of course I would. You know, I feel like for money. I wouldn't fucking do it for free. I'm not fucking crazy here. I would do it for fucking money, lots of money, preferably. You know, I'm not gonna fucking swindle. I want like at least $1 trillion. And honestly, I feel like if you don't. If you're offered a like blowjob and money, like, and you don't take it, there's something wrong with you. And because it's a win-win situation. If you're not, I don't know. I think you're homophobic and you should like fuck off. But my problem with this situation is when you're getting your dick sucked by like, you know, another dude. When do you come? Like, when's the proper come time? Because if you come too fast, it's like, whoa, you fucking came pretty fucking fast. And if you take too long to fucking bust a nut, it's like, whoa, you know, it's just the same problem. So you have to like time it perfectly. I'm like, okay, perfect. You know, fucking perfect. And here's the thing, if I do get my dick sucked by like another dude, I don't want I don't want it to be offensive, but like a prissy little faggy blowjob. Like, I don't want like a lovey blowjob. I want like a manly fucking blowjob, okay? I want someone with a full beard fucking grinding their teeth on my fucking dick, like squeezing my balls up and like fisting me in the fucking ass while like choking. And yeah, that's my fucking dream. That's my kink. Oh, okay. Okay, next joke. Let's see, let's go fucking. Okay, next joke. Oh yeah. So you know, I'm kind of, I don't know how to say this without sounding too bad on myself. A bum, you know, in the bum life, you know, you gotta make time to do things. And I realized, you know, so I've been kind of, like, I told this joke completely out of order, so I'm just gonna skip this joke. I'm gonna totally skip this joke, go to the next joke. Okay, so basically I always had this joke about like masturbating and like shitting at the same time. And okay, so basically, but what I'm going at is, you ever, like I realized like, you know, you got masturbation comments and you ever, oh fuck, I totally fucked this joke up. I'm just gonna fucking skip this one. I'm skipping all my masturbation and shit cum jokes. Fucking, you guys missed out. Fucking, I hope you know that. I think laws are dumb. I think, well, for the most part, I think laws are dumb. That's why I think they should legalize just one murder. I think everybody, overpopulation is a thing. I think everybody should legally be able to kill one person, okay? And it's just like, you gotta go through all the process of anything else like legal, and you know, because it'd be kind of some fun situations. You could be like, go over and you just, you know, someone fucking, I don't know, they cut you off on the road. You know, fucking, you got your one legal murder. Okay, that one needs some work, but okay. It's a concept that I'm working on, my idea. I don't even know if it's really honestly a joke, as much as it is a political stance, and that's what I'm gonna run for as the mayor of Maui County. Like, hey, everybody, you can come to Maui, you can kill one person. That's all you get. All right, let's see, what's up? What do we got next? Okay, oh, this one's particularly offensive. I believe they should change the age of consent to like, I don't know, like 16 or something, because one, because I'm just like a fucking horrible person, and mostly because I feel like if a kid is mature enough to go over and shoot all their friends, I think they're mature enough to have 3 minutes of pleasure for 2 inches. I think I got those mixed up. I think it was something 3 inches of pleasure for 2 minutes, but you know what I mean. Let's see. Yeah, fuck. I got like another one. I'm gonna talk about how I'm not really, like, I'm like not pro-life or pro-choice. I think it's like, for the most part, generally outside of comedy, I'm pro-choice, fucking yeah, women's rights, all that shit. Fuck yeah. But in this context of this joke, I think I'm pro-abortion. I feel like there's like I said before, there's I want to kill one person, so there's definitely too many of you people here. Yeah, I think pro-abortion because I feel like it's like always like this girl's like 16 and pregnant, and it's like it's just gonna be like she's her choice or whatever. But it's like just you're not missing anything with that baby. Like that baby is not gonna fucking grow up to cure cancer or some shit. Okay, the menthol cigarette industry will do just fine without that kid. Yeah, okay, I don't really have anything else. I'm sorry. All right, that was fun.
Give it up for Chris. That was pretty good, Chris. If I ever get a dick sucked by a guy, I want it to be a guy with a big blonde afro. So I don't have to see his face, and I can just imagine it's Foxy Brown from Austin Powers. Talking about school shootings. Did y'all? I heard somebody laugh at that. Man, somebody laughed at that. I think school shootings are happening because they took dodgeball out of schools. Because used to, if you didn't like a kid, you just bust him in the face with a red rubber ball, right? Plus the kids learned to dodge, dip, duck, and dive in case there was a school shooting. I think if they want to curb school shootings, they should take band out of schools. Because the jobs pick on the band kids, and that would curb bullying. Plus, it's really easy to hide an AR-15 in a trombone case. Oh, y'all laughed at Chris's school shooting jokes. It's a fucking dead room in here. It's like, it's funny when he says it, but this guy looks like he might shoot up somebody. So fuck that. We're not laughing at that. Not a lot of land on Maui. Not a lot of land on Maui. If you die, we cremate you and throw you in the ocean almost instantly. I've had my grandmother's ashes to dispose of. So I've been buying these really nice seashells from Banana Wind. And I mix her ashes with a little bit of glue. And I pour them in the seashells and throw them on the beach and watch the tourists pick them up. And then they take them home and my grandmother gets to see the rest of the world, right? The best thing about that is they listen to them. They're like, I can hear the ocean. I'm like, no, that's just Thelma from Florida. Are y'all ready for your next comic of the night?
Yep.
Put your hands together and welcome to the stage, Jackson!
All right, thank you, folks. Thank you. My name is Jackson, and I got some cool stories here for you guys today. The first one I wanted to talk about was I think the best topic would be like love. Speaking of which, for example, self-love is like the most important love that we can have, so that we are able to love another person. And one of the things that people like to do a lot is love themselves, and I'm talking physically. But the issue that I have here is that a lot of people I know consider themselves straight, like completely 100%. And I think that it's definitely a scale, and everyone is there somewhere on the scale. So the first time, for example, first time ever looking at some porn and jerking off. Well, if you're a man, it was probably a man's hand on your dick. It's probably your own, hopefully. And if you're able to get off from that, well, most unfortunately, you're partly gay too. So, just wanted to let you guys know that. But there's some benefits to not jerking it too often. The whole it's not a sin thing and blah blah, and like more energy and everything. And I've been really appreciating that part of it. The only problem is that women control every single thing and fabric of my existence and everything that I do all the time, every day. That's all right. I did want to talk about my first girlfriend ever, actually. We'll say her name was Susie. Susie was a cool girl on the playground. At a young age, we didn't really know what love was. So I just thought, this girl is cool. She doesn't have to want to do the same stuff I do, but, if she can eat some snacks with me and tell me what I was doing was cool, that seems good enough. So I had selected my target, and I had seen how some of the other boys in first grade were courting their sweethearts, and this one guy, bought this girl an extra milk in the lunch line. And I wasn't no sucker, so I wasn't gonna pull that shit. So I saw her on recess hanging out with some of her friends. I came up behind her, yanked on her hair, and when she turned around, I punched her and took her doll, ran off. So I'm running away, ha 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 ha, and you give that like, oh, did you catch me? Like, ha ha, you didn't see me. And right as I turned around, she actually grabbed me, knocked me to the floor, and punched me in the face. And that was when I realized I was in love. So she got her doll back, it's all good. We go into class the next day, and a lot of people think it's cool to homeschool and stuff. Like, school is a bad place, but it teaches you some really valuable lessons. Namely, the first being that most people that you meet are player haters, especially teachers. She didn't really think that it was very cool that I was punching my sweetheart in class, so she's trying to hate on my game and separated us. So I got to dealing with that, and it was all right. We still had found ways to meet each other, and especially on the playground. And the second lesson I learned from school is that the playground is a war zone, and you always have to have at least a couple buddies that will back you up at any given time. Like these days, like pedestrian life, we're walking, cars drive by something, but 1 minute out on the playground, it's like, boom, there's balls flying past you, there's people screaming, there's a guy getting in a fight, someone's got his lunch money, someone whose uncle's lunch money that originally is gonna go and find that kid after school with his bruh and take care of business. So it was a little scary the first time, but the other thing I learned is that prohibition doesn't really seem to work, but it does really make gambling a lot more fun. We had marbles. Everyone liked to play the little marble game where you go for cracks and stuff. And so one time I was duking it out with a kid. I won the cracks. I would have been able to take his marbles, but he backed down on the bet. And he tried to say that I couldn't. And so the lesson I learned here is that when you're involved in any kind of underground enterprise, is that any kind of social power, government, official, teacher, lunch lady, they're not going to help you. So this kid tried to tell him, he didn't want to give me the marbles, so we got into a fight, we beat each other up, and then he told the principal when we got to the office why we were there. And they said it was because the fight started because of the marbles, and I don't know where I was going with that one. Let's just put that one on the table. But that was that kid. Fuck that guy. But I did actually recently meet one of my friends from elementary school for the first time in 20 years, and it was crazy because I recognized his face instantly. And I think he knew who I was, but he didn't say anything. Because the last time I had seen that kid on the playground, we were pretending to play Army. And that was an example of things getting carried away. Kids get carried away a little bit. And I was playing drill sergeant, so I was saying like, oh, run into the wall, run into the wall, bang, oh, that's so fun, let's wrestle, okay, let's wrestle. And so I saw my friend Cody, and Cody used to like to go and boogie board with me and go to the beach and do all this fun stuff. But I noticed that Cody had gained a little bit of weight, and which made him a perfect target. And so we went over to Cody, and I was like, "Hey, Cody, you want to join the army with us?" And he said, "No, I'm just gonna play Monopoly over here, whatever he was doing." And I was like, I was angry at him. This is second grade mind thinking. I was angry because I thought that because he had gained some weight, that was the reason that he didn't want to hang out with us, and like his fat had actually angered me, the fat itself. So I'm looking at some of my friends, and I'd seen it in the movies, and so I said, "Get him!" And my two friends beat the living shit out of one of my best friends in second grade. And I saw him a couple months ago. I don't think he remembers the last time we hung out. Yeah, that happened. Beating the fat kid. Another issue that a lot of people are having right now is these ideas on construction and development. And so hanging out with people that come to visit this place, you spend a lot of time stargazing. So people are like, oh, the moon, the stars look out so nice. You're like, oh yeah, let's grab a blanket and look at the stars. So I'm hanging out with this girl I had met. We're watching the stars. She says, wow, you can see it so clear tonight. I said, yeah, it's the best place in the world to see the stars. She says, yeah, it almost makes you want to build a 30-meter telescope to get a better look at it. It almost makes you want to. That's a wrap from you guys.
He's going for Jackson. I stay away from the telescope jokes here on Maui. I don't go there. I tell fucking school shooting jokes, but I'm like, no, I'm not even touching the fucking telescope. I'm not doing that. No fucking way. I know my limits, right? He said teachers were buzzkills, right? I was like, teachers are cool. When I was growing up, I had sex with a teacher. I also got picked on in school because my mom was a school teacher. It's not what y'all are thinking. I didn't have sex with my mom. She would have friends over and they would play checkers and get drunk. Mrs. Hickenbotham had some good pussy. Are you ready for your next comedian? First time to the stage on Mulligans. Put your hands together and welcome Scotty Mac. Scotty Mac. I think it's Bernie Mac's cousin, right? Yeah, you look just alike. Come on, Scotty Mac, give it up.
I have chlamydia, he yelled, shattering the stale silence in the living room. It had been 3 days since he walked through those front doors. One of my best friends when I grew up was more horrible than any human you ever met. His name was Larry Boswell, and he was the manager of activities at the YMCA in Monette, Missouri. The second he cracked open a beer, he slowly became the Boz. Now the Boz was something fucking awful, okay? First time I met the Boz, we picked him up at his job at the YMCA in Monette, Missouri. He got into the car, polo shirt tucked into his khakis. Hey Scott, nice to meet you. And I was like, no, fucking no, man. You are not the guy I heard about. I heard fucking stories about you. No, this guy, he was a fucking devil, okay? He gets into the car, tells the driver, hey, pop into that gas station over there. I got to pick something up. All right. So he pops in. He walks out with 2 handfuls of Keystone Lights, cases in each hand, right? He's like, all right, let's go. So we start driving. We got a 3-hour drive to this little town in Missouri. We're going for a party. He finishes 30 of the beers in a 2-hour drive. We're driving, and the driver, Taylor, he's got a rearview mirror. He's like, hey, what are you doing back there, Larry? Nothing. What are you doing, Larry? I'm just texting a girl. Larry, who are you texting? My boss's daughter. Larry, how old is she? 14. Larry Boswell was the worst thing you've ever come to mind. So what I tell you, I'm telling you this story. This is a 100% true story. I'm not a comedian. I don't tell jokes like these guys. I have the utmost respect for you guys because you can think and create these jokes. I'm telling true stories. This is what happened to me. So here's what happened. That was the first time I met Larry Boswell. The second time I met him, I was on a canoe trip through southern Missouri, northern Arkansas, parts of Oklahoma. We went through the White River, the Buffalo River. Beautiful country if you've never been there. So I'm on a float trip where we got the canoes, we got the big old coolers full of beer, right? We're floating, we got whiskey, beer, music, all the good things you want, right? So we start telling, there's like 3 canoes full of guys. We start telling Larry Boswell jokes because this guy is fucking infamous. If you grew up in the Ozarks between the time of like 1990 and 2010, you knew Larry Boswell, or the Boz, as he was well known. So this guy, we're telling stories. Everyone has their own Boz story. We're talking, you know, and everyone's got their own Boz story. We're in these canoes. I swear to God, this is a true story. We're in the middle of fucking nowhere. We turn the curve in a river, and Larry fucking Boswell is standing on the side of the river waving at us. And we all looked at each other like, no. Did you fucking call him? Did you call him? No one called him. We pulled up to the shore, like got on shore. Larry, dude, what are you doing here? He's like, dude, YMCA's got a field trip. I'm in fucking charge. Let's go though. Like, you got beer? Let's go. Gets in my fucking canoe. It gets crazy from here. Are you guys ready? Are you all strapped in? Seatbelts on. Let's go. Hands inside the vehicle. Here we go. Larry Boswell gets in my canoe. We take off, right? We're floating, and we didn't use the paddles because in like the Ozarks, you just float and drink in the canoes. You don't actually paddle. Larry Boswell grabs the fucking paddle and he's going, right? He's fucking paddling. And we're like pulling away from my friends. I'm like, no, but they're in charge and I don't know where we're supposed to go, but okay, we're just going. Then all of a sudden he gets hungry. He's like, Scotty, I'm hungry. All right, well, I got a couple hot dogs and some wood, let's pull over. So we pull over the thing, make a fire, we cook some hot dogs, he eats some, we're drinking beer the whole time. And I'm like, aren't you in charge of a YMCA field trip? And he's like, they'll be okay. And this is the boss. This is exactly what I'm describing, right? So next thing that happens is a bunch of rafts pull up. It is filled with gigantic women. 7 to 10 gigantic women. I lost count because I was pretty buzzed at this point. Larry's excited. He's like, this is awesome. And I'm like, it's not awesome. I don't know where my friends are. I don't know why I'm with you. This is just a weird thing. I met you in Missouri one time. All right, so all of a sudden they eat hot dogs with us, and he decides it's a great idea to tie our rafts together. Again, true fucking story. This actually fucking happened. Tie our rafts together, okay? And he's like, we're gonna float with them the rest of the way. And I'm like, no, we're not, because I don't know where we're pulling out. I don't know where my car is, I don't know where my home is, I don't know where my friends are, I don't know where we're going. But we're fucking on a raft with 8 big old women. And I don't know where we're going, whatever. So, but I'm drinking still because that's what you do. I mean, there's really no other option but to drink at this point. So I'm drinking, and as we're going down this river, I'm on my canoe, we got it tied to the raft next to us, We're on this big old fucking Buffalo River going down this thing, no rapids, thank God. And I'm talking to all these black women, they're all crack addicts, they got no teeth, it's just fantastic. And all of a sudden I'm like, Where the fuck is Larry? Has anyone seen fucking Larry? So I'm looking around the boat. I get a little panicked, a little verklempt, I'm not gonna lie. Look to the back of the boat, one of the rafts, I see a hand. See a hand holding on the back of the raft. So I'm like, peculiar. We'll go peek. I peek over the boat. Larry Boswell is fucking one of the big women off the back of the boat with a hand holding onto the boat, his other arm wrapped around the woman and just going at it. And I'm just like, okay, there's Larry. I found him. At least he's not gone. That's good. We didn't lose him. He's not dead. That's good. So, a couple minutes later, Larry pulls himself back onto the boat with this big fucking grin on his face. And I'm just like, how you doing, bud? He's like, oh, good. Yeah, you're good. I was like, oh, I hate you so much right now. I don't know where my friends are. So on that river, there's 2 floats that you can do. One is 8 miles long, takes you about 12 hours. One is 20 miles long, takes you a day and a half. We did the 20-mile float. A day and a half later, I ended up at the end of the river. There was a dam. There, you could not go further. You had to paddle off to the side. And luckily, a good friend of mine was standing there with his arms crossed, and I pulled the canoe up on the shore, and I looked at him all worried, and he just goes, "It's the boss. I get it." Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Give it up for Scotty Mack. Awesome first time storyteller. Awesome.